Hello, Jessica Frost Ballas here with a video for MFT stamps. Today I've created a quick and easy cheery card to send to that person you're missing right now. And if rainbows aren't your thing, I'll also share an easy way to change up this design. So let's get started. First, I prepped a piece of Strathmore Bristol smooth cardstock with my anti-static powder tool. Since it's an intricate design, I want to make sure there won't be any stray embossing powder stuck to the cardstock. Next, I stamped the city block background stamp with Versamark and heat emboss it with white embossing powder. I'm using a piece of cardstock cut to 6.5 by 7.5. When I'm heat embossing an intricate 6x6 stamp, I like to have a little extra cardstock to hold. When I finish embossing, I trim the panel down to 4 3/4 by 6 so that I have a little extra room for my ink blending. I've divided the panel into eighths and blend Distress Oxide ink over the panel. I keep the color more concentrated in the middle of each eighth wedge and fade the color out on either side so that it will blend better with the next color. I'm using Distress Oxide inks in Picked Raspberry, Festive Berries, Spiced Marmalade, Squeezed Lemonade, Twisted Citron, Cracked Pistachio, Mermaid Lagoon, and Wilted Violet. When the colors meet, they create a third shade that helps bridge the gap between the two colors. In general, I lay down the new color and then blend the previous color in with the previous blending tool. If it's still not smooth enough, I'll blend again with the new color. I wanted a rainbow here, but you could also do this with just cool shades of green, blues, and purples, or warm shades of yellows, reds, and oranges. You could also just do an ombre of a single color. Once I'm finished blending, I buff the excess ink off the panel with a soft Swiffer cloth, but any soft cloth or paper towel will work. The embossing powder resists the ink, so the ink rubs right off and the embossed design brightens up again. I dry the ink with my heat gun and then trim the panel down to a 4 by 5.25 inch panel. Next, I stamp a sentiment from the new I Miss Your Hug stamp set onto black licorice cardstock with Versamark and heat emboss it with white embossing powder. This 6 by 8 set has a ton of sentiments that are perfect for these difficult times, and I can definitely see myself reaching for it again and again. Once I heat emboss the sentiment, I trim it down to a thin label. I also die cut the Love Speech bubbles from black licorice cardstock. I use my T-ruler to adhere my sentiment with foam mounting tape. I adhere it in the center to cover the point where all the colors meet in the middle. I think it just makes the blending a little more seamless when you can't see where it all meets. Next, I adhere the blended panel to an A2 card base, leaving a 1/4 inch margin around the panel. Then I add the Love Speech bubbles with on-point precision glue. I line them up as if they're coming out of 2 of the windows of the city block background stamp. I want to bring a little more attention to those 2 windows, so I add a little Spectrum Noir clear sparkle to each one and finish it with a layer of Nuvo crystal glaze. The glaze dries with a little dimension and they really pop when they catch the light. And that's my finished card. It's simple but sends an important message. You could also switch out the sentiment I chose with any of the other sentiments in the I Miss Your Hug set. Finally, like I mentioned earlier, if rainbows really aren't your thing, you can make this card really easily by simply heat embossing the city block background stamp onto smooth white cardstock with white embossing powder, and then adding the sentiment and speech bubbles on the cardstock color of your choice. I feel like this card design could be quickly mass-produced to send to extended family members or students or teachers or anyone else you're missing these days. You can find more information on all the products I used in the YouTube description below. Thanks so much for watching, and until next time, have an amazing day and happy crafting. Bye!